What is up, ninjas? OJ over here from PlayerEssence, and welcome to another PE news video. Today we've got a lot of great Nintendo Switch news in addition to some awesome Persona 5 news. So let's go ahead and get right into it. So Persona 5 has topped 1.5 million units shipped worldwide. Atlus has announced via official Japanese Persona website that Persona 5 shipments have now topped over 1.5 million units worldwide following its release outside of Japan. Now this does combine the Japanese release, which had over 550,000 units so far sold / shipped, in addition to what's happening in the Western territories when it comes to Persona 5. Obviously, Persona 5 is probably Atlus's biggest game to date. They're being really strict with certain things with the game when it comes to streaming and when it comes to just handling the game, marketing. Everything that they've done pretty much is with love and care with this Persona game, and I've been playing quite a bit of it. I can give my first impressions just briefly, but I will have another video talking about it more in depth. But the game is awesome. I just don't think it's necessarily for everyone the type of RPG that it is, but it is an amazing game, one of the best RPGs that I've played in recent memory. Seriously, it is an awesome game, and I'm so happy for Atlus, for the Persona team, that they could have this type of success, because it pretty much outsold Persona 4 Golden, or Persona 4, which is their best-selling Persona game. Outsold it pretty much right then and there. It's going to easily outsell it. So good stuff to Persona, good stuff to the Persona team, and for Atlus for bringing this out. Sega, everyone involved. Persona 5 is awesome. The only thing that I would have liked was to see a Nintendo Switch version, but I understand there's business, they're doing dealings with Sony, and that's what they wanted to do to make some extra money if Sony was willing to offer. So I understand the whole game and the business, but at the same time it would have been really nice to have this on the Nintendo Switch. But it is what it is. I'm enjoying it on the PS4. I have the Take My Heart edition. So yeah, really liking it. And if you haven't picked up Persona 4 yet on the PS3 or the PS4, make sure you go do so. It is an amazing game. All right, now moving on to the next article here. We do have some PR from Mr. Shifty. The game is launching on April 13th for the Nintendo Switch and Steam. So here is the PR release. So good news. We're ready to launch Mr. Shifty next week for both Steam and Nintendo Switch. It's coming Thursday, April 13th to both platforms. Other console plans will follow later. Check out the Nintendo Switch announcement trailer to get an idea of what the game is about. As a personal opinion, it plays fantastic on the Nintendo Switch. There's something very satisfying about HD Rumble and playing it in portable mode. Our team at Tiny Build Seattle worked on impossible timelines with Mr. Shifty in Australia to bring it to the Nintendo Switch alongside the Steam launch, and I really hope everyone will appreciate the result. Here's some more details about Mr. Shifty. Shift through bullets and master lightning-fast takedowns in an all-new kind of action game from Tiny Build and Team Shifty. Mr. Shifty follows a teleportation field heist to break into the world's most secure facility. So if you haven't seen Mr. Shifty or know what it's about, now you do know. This game is coming next week, April 13th. Really excited. That's actually on my birthday. So I'm actually really excited. It'll be a nice birthday present for me to play on stream or something like that. Mr. Shifty, it's looking good. I'm looking forward to playing it myself and having a lot of fun. And yeah, it's coming to Steam and Nintendo Switch at the same time. Really impressive for them to get both of those games, especially for a small indie developer. So are you guys looking forward to Mr. Shifty? Let me know in the comment section below. And lastly, we have some news on Square Enix. Yes, Square Enix is planning to ramp up the support for the Nintendo Switch as far as what they're going to be focusing on. And the Square Enix CEO even said that out of all the platforms being released in 2017, the Nintendo Switch is the biggest focus when it comes to gaming platforms, so over Project Scorpio. So let's go ahead and get into the article here. Square Enix games were almost entirely absent on the Wii U, but it looks like this won't be the case on the Nintendo Switch. Project Octopath Traveler was showcased at the Switch event in January, and recent Square Enix revealed that Seiken Densetsu Collection will be coming as well. In a recent interview with the Nikkei, Square Enix CEO Yosuke Matsuda reiterated the company's interest in the Nintendo Switch. He stated that out of all the various new gaming platforms being released in 2017, such as the Microsoft's Project Scorpio or Windows 10 Game Mode, Square Enix's attention will be mostly focused on the Nintendo Switch. Matsuda also says that having multiple gaming platforms in the market is a good thing, as he hopes that the Nintendo Switch is a success. Another thing just to talk about briefly, he did say that they are looking into porting various titles that they have done and in the future to the Nintendo Switch. So they are looking at bringing over titles, and they are in the planning phase of doing that as far as bringing over new titles to the Nintendo Switch, and that he's keeping a keen eye on other things, but the Nintendo Switch is definitely that focus for them. He talked about smartphone gaming, he talked about a bunch of other things, but this is really cool that Square Enix is jumping on board with the Nintendo Switch. Obviously, we do have the Seiken Densetsu collection, which needs to come over. We have no confirmation at this point. M2 is asking us to tweet out Square Enix and let them know that we do want it, so I think a lot of people are already doing that, and let's continue to tweet Square Enix, letting them know that we want that. But we also have other games coming from them as well that they haven't released, and there's going to be more games that we don't know about coming to the system. Project Octopath Traveler looks amazing, cannot wait for that game. The game is looking really, really nice. That is from the Bravely Default team over there, Silicon Studio. And I'm wondering what other ports they'll bring over. Obviously, we have a lot of people who really want stuff like Kingdom Hearts 3, and they really want stuff like Final Fantasy, and they really want stuff like the remake, Final Fantasy VII Remake. So hopefully Square Enix can port over those type of games to Nintendo Switch. I don't think that would be a problem. I just think that getting the time to optimize and making sure that it's a quality release, that's going to be one thing that they have to do as far as budgeting. But in my opinion, now this is just me speaking, looking at the current sales landscape and kind of what's going on with Square Enix's titles that do release on Xbox platforms, I do think that it would probably be worth it for them, for Square Enix, as far as revenue, in order to maximize it, or in order to get more of it, where you have to spend a little bit more time to make sure that they kind of push a little bit of support over to Nintendo Switch. And he did say that they are going to be doing that, because it seems to me like even though Xbox has the install base that it has, Square Enix's games necessarily aren't selling as much on the Microsoft platform. You're seeing a big disparity between the PS4 and the Xbox. Obviously, that's because PS4 is more popular in Japan, you get the sales there, and it just has a bigger install base. But at the same time, the popularity of their titles in Japan and America, as far as worldwide, is really important, and Microsoft has no presence in Japan. So it's going to be interesting to see if they do shift that focus completely over, and maybe that takes away from the Xbox One platform, because we're seeing a lot of companies such as like Atlas not even really develop on the Xbox One at all, outside of a few multiplats here and there. But really, they really focused on the PS4, they focused on the 3DS, and they're shifting now to Nintendo Switch. We have Shin Megami Tensei coming, and there will be more games. So we'll see what Square Enix ends up doing. I do feel that it's good that they are focusing on the Nintendo Switch. I think that with the sales that's going on in Japan at this point, the portability aspect of the system, and the fact that Nintendo will be rolling out more games in order to keep momentum going, got Mario Kart 8 this month, I do feel that it's a smart move for them to shift over to Nintendo Switch and really focus on that system, because I think it's long overdue that Nintendo fans get some good support from Square Enix, especially after Wii U kind of flopped and they didn't really put out anything there. Although they supported the 3DS to an extent with some pretty good titles. So I do feel that that should roll over naturally to the Nintendo Switch, and let's hope that they do bring some of the bigger titles like Final Fantasy, like Kingdom Hearts over to the Nintendo Switch. Alright guys, that wraps up for this video here. Go ahead and hit that like button if you did like it. Let me know you guys want more content like this going forward in the future, and subscribe to PlayerEssence for the latest news, reviews, discussions, and more. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you ninjas for the next video. Peace!